back to another episode of the Soup Bowl. I am your host, Renee Murdoch, and I am so happy to be doing life with you on today. I am glad about it. I'm excited about it. I'm glad that you're going on this journey with me. I'm so happy to be going on the journey with you and doing life together. Look, things get hard out here in these streets, and why try to do it alone when I can do it with you, or you could do it with me, or we could do it with one another? We were never meant to do life alone. If we were, you would not exist. I would not exist. And that is why we are here with one another, just to work it out, right? Just to work it out, to help one another grow. That's why we're here. And so I'm just so happy about it. Are you happy about it? Are you happy about it? Okay. Anyway, I see Muscles back there. He's getting his little, eat on his little snacks or whatever. I don't know why he didn't do that before I started recording, like why we were not here. But he just, again, wants to make a cameo. Hi, Muscle. Okay. So he's seeing that. Like he's in it, and then now, like he's gone. Okay, so what are we going to get into today, people? What are we going to get into today? We know that life gets messy when we're out here leading our own lives, right? And so that's what's happening out here. So what I want to talk about today is something that I remember one of my teachers growing up literally would talk to us about this very thing. And I don't think it really resonated within me until, of course, I got older. And I think a lot of times that as adults, when we're talking to younger people, that we think that they're not listening, and they aren't, but they are, right? Because they're like, I don't want to hear what you got to say because I know everything, right? They know everything. They know everything. And so it's like, yeah, whatever. This older person talks to me and they don't know what they're talking about. But I just remember this individual talking to us about our character and how important it is to build a good character. And I was like, okay, yeah, okay, I'll be kind, I'll be nice, whatever. You don't know what's going on in my life. So, yeah, whatever, right? But seriously, though, I didn't really realize how important this particular topic was until I started really coming into adulting. Yes. They say that it's not fun, but it can be. In the beginning, it might not be so much because we really, trying to find our way. We don't want to listen to anybody, right? And so it gets hard out here. Right? It's the hard knock life for us. And so we make it harder than what it needs to be. It really isn't. Like, yes, there'll be challenges and things like that that's going to come your way, but it can still be fun, right? Parenting can be fun, right? Your job can be fun. It's all about the perspective in which we have in doing that. So again, this topic of, character and what most people do not focus on, more than likely. I saw this video, and this gentleman was talking to his daughter, and he was actually pushing her, like she had to run from her house to the park, right? And so as she's running to the park, and what she didn't want to do, her dad explained to her that she was not going to be able to go to gymnastics for a week. And so, of course, she started crying and things like that. He was like, don't look at me. Just keep running, right? I'm just keep running until you get to the park. And stop acting like the park is so far away, because it's not. And so he was talking to her about her behavior, the way that she treated other people, the way that she talked to them, the way that she talked to her siblings. And he was just like, the very thing that you're desiring to do, which is to do gymnastics or whatever, and you want to put so much energy and things of that nature, and be kind to those people there, but you don't even know how to be kind, to your own siblings, right, and be respectful to your parents, then I'm going to pull that away from you, and then and you're going to think about, during this week, you're going to think about how you should be treating everybody, not because these individuals are here and these individuals are that. No, that's not the way it works. And he was just like, so I'm gonna build your character. Just like you want to build your skill, I'm gonna build your character. And I thought that was like really, admirable of that father to be doing that, right? And then of course when they get to the playground, he talks to her some more about it, and then he tells her that he loves her, and he loves her enough that he's teaching her this lesson now, while she's younger. So when she gets older, it's not such a hard thing to understand how just to be kind, how just to be a good person, and being mindful of those who you're around, be mindful of your behavior, because we spend so much time on perfecting, which, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna say that. We spend so much time in perfecting our gifts and our talents that we don't spend the same amount of time on building our character. And I remember going through a particular time and space where I had to deal with my character. It wasn't so much of like, yeah, I don't know how to be honest. I did, right? But I would like literally, speak out of turn a lot, right? And so I had to work on that. Regardless of how I was feeling, what was going on in my life, I had to be a self-aware to recognize, when to speak and when not to speak. And so it helped. Of course, as I got older and I found myself in other situations. So, I mean, I'm laughing because like people wanted to fight me a lot. Can you imagine that? They wanted to fight me a lot, right? I did nothing to no one, right? And it wasn't so much that people like wanted to fight me individually, like they was like literally want to jump me. So it's like crazy. But we just spend so much time on, looking at people's skills and talents and not really looking at people's character, right? So why would I want someone that was so skillful in a thing, but they have no good morals, right? I cannot trust anything that comes out of their mouth. I can't trust a dollar in their hand. I can't trust them with my children. I can't trust them, with my team. Like, these are the things that people, organizations do not focus on. We focus more on the talents of an individual. Can this person bring more people to me? Can this person get the job done? Can this person sing octaves up to the bleachers? Can this person play? Can this person dance this way? Can this person produce this much product? Can this person, like, we're so focused on the talent of an individual that we're not focused on their character. Yes, they can sing unto the bleachers and break the freaking windows. But again, do you trust them enough, right, to give them an assignment and for them to go complete the assignment and then come back, right? Versus you send them on the assignment, they don't do the assignment, they come back and they say that they did it. I mean, think about it for a second. When you tell your children to go and clean their room, you're away and you're calling back, hey, did you clean your room? And they're like, yes, I cleaned my room. Okay, cool. Go ahead and go on that outing. You get home before they do. They didn't know you was coming back early. They didn't know it. They didn't know. And you come back and you go to the room. And guess what? The room is not clean. It's not clean. But they told you it was clean. They told you it was clean. So what do you do in those situations? Right? You call them out, whatever, you deal with them. But do you overlook it and be like, well, yeah, they went out there and they went to go play basketball, and I'm trying to raise me a basketball star. No, you don't. You address that they lied. You address that they made up, a whole story, or whatever the case may be. You address them on the behavior that they did. So they're recognizing that, okay, I should have just went ahead and cleaned my room. I shouldn't have lied. I shouldn't have went there if I wasn't going to complete this or whatnot. Like, there are things that we must do to get to where we want to go. And that is building our character. That is making sure that what we say is what we do. How many times, I got a couple of pet peeves, but you're speaking to someone, they're saying one thing, but then you look and they're doing something else totally different. And you're like, well, which one is it? Like, is it what you're saying or is it what you're doing? More than likely, it's what you're doing. So, a lot of times people say certain stuff and I'm like, yeah, I'm with you. And then I'm watching you as well. So there we go. There's one thing that I wrote down, right? This is one of the things I think I posted this as well. It says, talent might open the doors, but it's character that keeps them open. So that, people go, for job interviews, people go for opportunities or whatnot, and everybody's like, wow, yes, this person is it. This person is great. We want this person on our team. And you get on that team and your character is flawed. So what is being said about you in them streets? What's being said about you? Are they saying, this is a great person to work with? Yes, you want this person on your team. I recommend this person, yada, yada, yada. Or are they saying, they can do that. But look, you better be looking out of one eye to make sure that, this and that or whatever. It's like going to someone for a service, right? And they've done a great job and you see that review and it's like, yes, the food was great, but the service was terrible. The food was great, but the service was terrible. The ambiance was wonderful, but the food was terrible. Right? Somebody's hyping it up, right? They're telling you all the great, wonderful things that they got on the menu, this and that, whatever. And then you get there and the ambiance is just beautiful. And then your food comes and it's terrible. And what if it was like just a big blob of poop, right? Like on your plate. And you're like, what? I've been bamboozled. I have been bamboozled. They have been lying to me all this time. And that's what it's like, right? Like, how are you going to keep those doors open? Well, your character is going to do that because people are going to talk about you behind closed doors. Your name will be in places that you have not even entered into yet. And you want your name to be in there. You want your name to be in the fold as someone that's being recommended versus someone to stay away from. Because I've been in those conversations and people have called and said, hey, do you recommend this person to be, on our team? And I have to be honest, whether I think that they'll be a great fit or whether they're not a great fit, or whether I believe that person is going to get the job done, but they're going to have to deal with this, and that if they bring them along. That means if someone is saying, hey, this person, yes, you want them. They're going to work hard, this and that, whatever. But you're going to have to deal with this. You're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with this. Then there's much space. There is much need for the continuation of building your character. And as we go throughout life, We are yet still working. We are a work in progress. We're a work in progress, right? So that's something that we should be working on at all times. But our character should be in good standing. At a certain point in our life, it should be at good standing. Like, we should not have to worry about if you were told to hold $100 and then somebody come back around and be like, where that $100? And you're like, I don't know nothing about no $100. What do you mean you don't know nothing about no $100? You was just told to hold $100. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. Okay, you're putting your timesheet in for 80 hours, but you really only did 70. Huh? You're supposed to work 8 hours, but you really only working 6. But you docking that you did 8. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You were told that your day starts at 9 a.m. And so your boss is on leave, and so you show up at 10 a.m. You were sent on an assignment to go do a check on a warehouse and make sure that they were they were in guidance, whatever, along with the company policy. And you went, you got your per diem and all those great things, but you never actually did the inspection. But you did the paperwork and said that they were good to go. And then now all of a sudden, something tragic happens right in the warehouse with some equipment and someone gets hurt. And it's like, well, didn't we just do an inspection? Paperwork says it does. But then the people at the warehouse is like, anybody ever showed up here? I don't remember that. Was I off that day? I don't remember anybody ever coming through. It is our character, people, that will keep those doors open. I believe there's a saying is, what you've done to what you've done to get the job is what you're going to have to do, what you will have to keep doing to keep the job. I don't know, I'm so good with all these things. But that's so true, right? Like, what you've done, right, to get that job, to get that position, to get that role, is what you're going to have to keep doing. So if you lied to get there, if you were shysty in getting there, you have to keep being shysty or whatever. Like, and then you're going to forget what you said. You're going to forget what you've done because it is a lie. It is a lie. And so you got to keep up with it. All right, next point on this, right? Getting to a place of working on our integrity, right? So something simple as, right, I got convicted of this. Don't tell nobody, right? I'm sharing it just with you. But, I used to, copying paper, right, was a thing for me back in the day. It was a thing for me back in the day. I was like, why do I need to buy copying paper? We have copying paper at work. So I would take the copying paper from work and bring it home and use the copying paper, right? This is before, remote, whatever the case may be. And don't ask me right now, what was I making copies of? I don't know. I don't know if it was flyers. I don't know. But I was using the copying paper and trying to justify why it was okay for me to take the copy of paper. Why I thought it was okay. Oh, I'm giving them hours that, I'm working way over my hours, although I was not like on a time thing or whatever. And so I was just still trying to justify it. I give them this much hours. I do this and that or whatever. This is my way of compensating myself. Like, I'm coming up with ways to justify the wrong behavior. And this is what we do. We try to justify the wrong behavior. Oh, because they did this to me, I'm going to do this. Or, oh, because, I'm giving this and they should be giving me this in return. And so we're trying to justify it. When there's really no justification, because two wrongs don't make a right. Two wrongs don't make a right. So why, do the back for. At the end of the day, right? You need to check yourself in reference to ultimately stealing. It was really stealing. So those of you that's out there that's taking the office supplies, you're stealing. When you're not, doing the 8 hours and you said that you did, you're stealing, right? So it's just when you're not telling the truth. These are all things, right, that deal with our character. When we try to think about how we're dealing with people, how we speak, what's our motive behind what we're doing, it's all about character. Like if you're only dealing with somebody because you want something from them, you only come around when you think that you're going to get something. Oh yeah, I'm going to go because I'm going to, they're going to gift me something or whatever, or I want to be in this space because they're going to say my name or whatever. Like your motives are wrong. Your motives are wrong. I'm just here to tell you, your motives are wrong, right? You need to work on your character. Why? Like, does someone need to say your name? Do we always have to say your name? Does your name have to be recognized at all times? Every time you do something, somebody got to give you praise for it? I don't know. Might want to check your character. Might be some flaws that's there, right? What else? How we respond instead of react. So, my husband was telling me about this story. It's funny, but it's not funny, right? So maybe this is kind of like off on the deep end of a thing, but he was telling me about how, there's this park wherever people was walking or whatever, and then people walk their dogs there. Well, a dog had pooped, and the lady didn't pick up the poop, and so there was a guy who was like, hey ma'am, are you going to pick that poop up? Like, I know you see these people out here. People ride their bikes. People are skateboarding, inline skating, all of these things, walking, running, and you just seen your dog poop, right? And you just left it there. And so she's fussing or whatever, and she gets the poop up in the bag, and then she comes over to the guy and was like, are you happy? And then she puts the poop in the guy's face. What would you have done? What would you have done? Yep, That's what he did. Maybe not as what you was doing, like that's a little extreme what you're thinking. But actually he just, went back into heaven and hell, and he, whoosh, and she went into hell. She went into another dimension, right? And so it's just amazing to me how people catch this stuff on camera, right? It's like, I feel like as soon as something, somebody tone or something happens, somebody's like, oh shoot, let me get my phone, let me get my camera out. So, to catch this stuff. You cannot be out here in these streets and think that you're going to do something. Don't nobody know what you're doing. Like, there's cameras everywhere. That's what we mean by that. There's cameras everywhere. But yeah, so he just slapped the woman, right? And so, she was like, oh, did you see that? You just assaulted me, whatever. And so people was like, there wasn't no, big commotion that this man just slapped this woman, right? Because she did not want to pick up the dog poop. And so, like I said, that's probably extreme. But, the point is like our response, right, in what we do and how people treat us, right, in the things that happen, in our circle of life, right? How do we respond to those particular things, right? Are we easily, offended? Do we easily get upset? Are we sensitive to every time someone says something that we don't like? Is it someone's trying to help us in building our character, and we're like, yeah, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You just pretty much just tune them out. This is just all about How do we respond? Right? How do we respond when someone is yelling at us? How do we respond when someone is calling us, out of our name? How do we respond when, you feel like someone is talking down to you? How do you respond when your pay is not correct? How do you respond when you've been overpaid? Hello? You got overpaid. You see something in your account that you're like, hold up a second, I don't think this is right. Are you actually going to call HR and tell them that you got overpaid, or you're going to call HR to figure out what was this extra deposit that's in your account, or you going to sit there and pretend like you have no idea that you just received some money that you don't even know why you received it, or you wasn't supposed to get it? Huh? I'm just saying. How do you respond? How do you respond when you're not getting the response that you desire in reference to, people that you deal with, your children, your spouse, right? Your family members. How are you responding? Do you go toe from toe? You like, yeah. You did one at me, pat, right? I'm coming right back at you. Like, do you do that? Or do you just be like, okay. So I've learned, right, that, and again, this is just all learning. I'm not perfect. I'm learning, because I've had some situations where I was like, oh yeah, you coming for me, I'm gonna come for you. Then I had situations where I'm like, yeah, no, it's not worth it. And then I had situations where, I'm the one that's like, up, in the rafters or whatever, and then, have to be reeled back in and, thrown a little safety net so I could just jump and be like, oh. So I get it. I understand, right? Again, like I said, this is a learning and growing process throughout life. We can no longer say, well, that's just me when it comes to things like this. Like, no, you need to work on that. Like, if you say you're going to do something, then do it. Like, I tell my daughter, like, stop saying you're going to do something and then don't do it. And if it comes to a point where you can't do it, then contact the person and say, hey, I know I said I was going to do this, but I'm unable to fulfill that right now. Like, just don't not say nothing about it like the person forgot. Like, yo, your character is flawed. Like, that's like a thing, like, seriously? Like, you said you were going to do this, and then, like, there's no contact. No word comes from you. Nothing. So you don't have the decency to get back with that person and tell them that you're unable to fulfill what you said you were going to do. You said you was going to do it. Then do it. Just simple as that. Just as simple as that. Honor your words. Honor your words. You will go very far in life if you're able to do that. Okay. All right, here's another point. We must check our egos. We must check the things that we have a poor outlook on. We must check being impatient. Yesterday, I think I did very good in regards to this situation yesterday. But we got to check, like, the things and being impatient about certain things. Right? We want things to be like this right now. But that's not always the case. So we have to be patient in doing that. Do know that poor values will always sabotage our potential. Right? We shouldn't run. We shouldn't shut down. And we shouldn't be so quick to speak. But we need to be patient. So we need to be patient. And we almost should be quick to listen. We need to listen more. We all need to listen more. Listen to what's being said and listen to what's not being said. Will help us a lot out here in these streets. It really would. Because at the end of the day, your character is what will stand the test of time. Not your talent, but your character. All right, let me know what you want to chat it up about. Right. Like tell me about a time where you had to put your character in check, or a time where you had to grow, right? A situation where like you got convicted of something, like, oh man, snap. That's not a good quality trait. I need to change that. I want to hear about it. All right, at www.4mosaic.com. Go to the website, hit contact us, or just chat me up on IG at 4 Mosaic Coach. I would love to hear from you, or you can hit me up on my personal social at JoCRC_DOC. That's right, DOC doc. All right, I love you. Until next time, peace, and do know that leading is teachable.